Hello and welcome to Hospitality and Travel Update. I got some very good news for you. And our day just became 30 minutes longer. So now the sun sets at 4:30 p.m., which is really awesome. I really feel that we are starting to wake up after having a long, long winter. And it's simply feel much more calmer and much better. We have sunlight, and because we have a lot of snow in the last few days, we have had -12. So this is Sam Erik Ruttman, and I'm your host here in Helsinki. So if you are here at the show, just write down where you are viewing from. And I'd love to see who you are so I can give you a shout out. Well, this is my second show here in Happs TV. And you might wonder, what am I doing here in Happs TV? Well, I think there's a very simple reason that I've been regularly or not regularly on Periscope, which is a platform on Twitter. And Twitter has decided to shut down Happs TV Happs Periscope. And that's where the people who has been traditionally in Periscope has jumped over to Happs. And I see so many friends that I have known from Periscope period. So I really had to come over. And in fact, I learned about Happs thanks to Elena Smith. So shout out to Elena from, I think based in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you very much for introducing me to Happs. Well, Happs TV is a platform where I think there are about 7 million people who are viewing this, and you are able to multicast to several channels at the same time. And in this way, I can also say hello to everyone who is watching me on either YouTube, Facebook, or in this case, in Periscope also. So I think that's really great that I'm able to connect with all of you that I know from different platforms here on Happs. And I'm able to see the comments in case I'm getting some comments from anyone. So I'm really happy about that. And so that's really about Happs and a little bit about me. I'm Sam Erik, and you probably see this thing here, which I wrote down, the hotelier talk. Well, I'm basically a hotelier by profession, and I've done that for a number of years. But since I completed my corporate career, I started to learn more about digital marketing and also to provide support to hotels in discussing about a new paradigm, a way of thinking about how to use live video as an opportunity to create awareness about their, not only the hotel, but about their surroundings. So that has really created that reason for me to start to learn about this. And that's how Periscope came in. I was the first time on Periscope about 5 years ago. And there were a number of people that got to connect at the time. So that's why I'm quite excited about being today now in Happs TV. So that's basically about me, and then about Happs TV. But now we're going to talk about the hospitality update. Now, this is an update I give on a weekly basis, primarily from the Nordics, but also anywhere in the world because of the network I have. I have sent out messages to everyone I know that please send me an update, travel update, and which I can share with you on this platform. So thanks again for all the live viewers, but also I'd like to thank all the replay viewers who are watching this later on each platform. And at the end, there is if you stay on at the end of the show, there is a email address where you can send me any tips you want to share with me about the travel and hospitality you want to share with me from your area. So this is basically then a opportunity now to start to share with you what's going on over here. Well, first of all, today is the 1st of February, and in 12 days' time, we have something happening, and that's and particularly in Asia, this is predominantly the Lunar New Year. So I think it's the 12th of February from our calendar when the Lunar New Year is. So that's a new year called Year of the Ox. So this will be a huge event, but also a little bit of a sad event where people don't have the opportunity, particularly who are restrictions about lockdowns, to meet their families and so on in large numbers. So that is very different to what has been during the previous years. But in China and also in other countries, there will be people traveling as much as they can. And I noticed that the flights are really, in China particularly, the flights are regular. People are having a chance to move around. So I'm sure there will be there's a pent-up demand on booking into hotels, and there's pent-up demand of taking trains or flights to different parts of China. So when it comes to Europe, well, Helsinki, I will report on Helsinki and Stockholm, and those are primarily and also for Finland, I will report on Lapland, the Arctic Lapland, which is one of my very favorite areas of the world. Well, the occupancies in Helsinki, Stockholm, and Copenhagen has been quite similar. And in December, the occupancies were in the 15 to 18% in all these cities. And Helsinki particularly was weekdays 15%. And then on the weekend, it's going up to 40 to 50%. And that's the reason is very clear now. There's an absence of business travel, an absence of meetings in the hotels, and all the the meetings has been replaced with virtual meetings, and that's where this hugely affects the hotels. And there's a big change I can feel also in the downtown of Helsinki. Now, Helsinki has changed in the sense of downtown that because of the downtown businesses, mainly law firms, banking, and financial institutions, many of them are not in their offices. They are working from home. It also it really feels that the downtown is really quiet. That has affected also, of course, the restaurant business, the lunches. The dinners during the weekdays are very quiet, and that's across the whole Helsinki downtown area. And of course, this will have an impact of retail, because retail is down, and many of the retailers have been closing shop because they cannot meet the rents. So they are moved to online space and selling online their products. And it already started right after the summer. You could start to see certain name brands of top brands made an announcement they are closing shop and they will be available for sale online only. But what has happened is that there's a tremendous demand for a takeaway. I mean, there are some brands like the Volt, for instance, which is a popular food delivery brand, and they are doing tremendous business, and there's a lot of people working in delivering food, and where it's food to the residences or food to some of the offices, in fact. But Volt is taking the delivery to the next levels. They're not only delivering food, they're delivering just about anything that you could be buying from a shop. So they are very flexible. I think there must be about 3,000 delivery men in the business at the moment who are making a living on deliveries. And the construction situation in hotels most of the projects have stopped, if not all, for time being. We have several projects that were announced a year ago, and 2019, which are halt. The only hotel that has opened and has been completed is at the main railway station of Helsinki, and that's a historical building. And actually next to the railway station, and that building that used to host the administration of the railway company, Scandic, is now operating a hotel of 491 rooms and large meeting space. They have decided to open this situation here with the pandemic and also the business situation to bring on board online 491 rooms. But also they have the positioning for meetings is very interesting. They are focusing on hybrid meetings. For those who don't know what the hybrid meeting mean, is that you have part of the audience or participants are joining actually physically to that meeting, and the majority are then viewing it from their home. And so they're set up, and all the conference packages are geared to different levels of hybrid meetings, where you can have a basic setup, you can have a very elaborate setup, which are available, and that is really the main thing that has changed. I mean, hybrid meetings was around, or teleconferencing, it has been called 30 years ago, never took off. So it's really interesting how tech is taking, how technology has just sped up the materialization, because normally the hotels are not the ones who are going first to join and implement new technology. They're always waiting for the next guy to do it first. But I think the pandemic forced the hotels to make some drastic decisions to bring this technology up to speed, and so the hybrid meeting is really here to stay, and that is what you can see in this newly opened hotel. But other things that are important are, of course, the keyless entry, and everything has touch screen. So hotel rooms do not have any paper anymore. I mean, that's the thing of the past, really. And there are a number of startups also that has come already pre-pandemic. I was around and I was looking at how to promote a tablet service. When I was asking around, and this tablet service you can do a number of things. You could order room service, you can read the daily papers, and you had a chat function, and all of these things. Almost a little bit over a year ago, in 2019, in the autumn, I was going around, and in the spring, in fact, I was going around hotels asking, what are you interested in? No, we don't want to have another hardware in our rooms. Well, lo and behold, things have changed, and now there are already a number of hotels who are using that extra device in the hotel room, where they can chat with the reception, because the hotel rooms today will not have individual phones. So this tablet will serve as part of their function, that you can chat with the desk, you can have all your services that you normally had with the telephone. Plus, you can now have all your services. You can order all the different concierge services from the tablet. So this is here to stay also, and there's no doubt that we will see more of the technology that's going to come on board. Helsinki, otherwise, I mean, this is a city of exhibitions and museums, and all the public museums are closed. That is by decree of a government for time being. The opera, the concert houses are closed also, but they have stream online performances. Particularly the opera and the ballet are continually. They have a huge staff, so they're having a chance to practice and rehearse. But also they are then doing they are streaming their performances. But of course, that's next best thing because you don't have a live audience at the moment. And then, of course, the music house, or which is the home of the Radio Symphonic Orchestra. They also are doing online streaming of their concerts. And interesting news. You know Grammy Awards, right? It's the US Grammy Awards. You're looking at all the top stars who are up for a Grammy. There's finally a Finn who is up for a Grammy this year. It's not in pop, rock, or jazz. It is in classical music. Now, last year there was about 100 records published in the classical music. And one of the records, which was a recording by Helsinki, the Radio Symphonic Orchestra, and directed by Hannu Lintu, recorded a symphony by let's see if I get Witold Lofodowski, a symphony number 2 and 3, and that has received great reviews. It's a very interesting piece because it also has some parts which traditionally, the symphony and classical music, the musicians are playing just note by note by note. But they are doing also some improvisation at some parts, which is quite very interesting. And the acoustics of the music hall is very clear and bright, and this fits particularly this symphony. So this has got great reviews. So I'm very happy for the Radio Symphonic Orchestra and directed by Hannu Lintu for receiving this award. Of course, this is not going to necessarily sell more records. It's not they're not going to get rich on this like you have the mainstream pop stars who are making a lot of it. But I think it's a recognition. There's a room for classical music, and also it's great to see that a country where we have great music coming from today has been recognized as one of the candidates for Grammy in the classical music. So very, very happy about that. Now also we have other things going on in Helsinki. We have exhibitions continuously here, and the exhibitions that you have seen really is the two exhibitions I like to see, but they're closed. One is a photo exhibition with a renowned street photographer from New York, Vivian Maier. Now, Vivian Maier was based in New York. She worked as a nanny, and I think it must be the 20s and 30s. And she carried on her camera with her, and she took pictures and put them away, and they have been found much, much later. And now they are traveling as a traveling exhibition, and that exhibition is currently in Helsinki. And these beautiful and interesting photographs of New York are now displaying them to an empty audience because the doors are closed for time being. But I cannot wait to get there once the doors are open again. There's another exhibition in a private museum called the Didriksen Museum that is featuring a Van Gogh exhibition. They took them for years to get this exhibition together. I mean, you can imagine if you are trying to collect from different museums the Van Gogh's earlier art paintings. They finally got them together after a lot of work, and now when they opened, they were not able to show them to the customers. But I think they are now. I heard that they are opening tomorrow. So that's called What Become of Van Gogh. That's the name of the exhibitions. So that's about Helsinki. So it is a very active town. So once you are able to get traveling, this is a place to come. There are so many things, art, culture, and music going on, great food. So Helsinki is the place to come. Well, it's my hometown, so I'm very happy, proud to mention this. A little bit about Stockholm. I just read about from the Swedish daily news, which is called Dagens Nyheter. and that is the main newspaper. And there was a report how also the hotel situation is quite challenging with the 15% occupancy, 15% occupancy in December, which is similar to what we have in Helsinki. And the hotels focusing on meetings, 1 out of 3 meetings are replaced by virtual meetings, according to a consultant, Johanna Danielsson from Kairos Future. And she says also that the hotels that are mainly been attracting to international travelers and business meetings in downtown area have to really look how they are going to replace this tremendous drop in business. Now, some hotels have taken some innovative measures, and I'm sure this is nothing new for you where you're coming from. Some hotels are renting their rooms for students on a monthly basis, and also as a temporary office space, particularly for the businesses downtown Stockholm. But this is quite the interesting situation that is going on there. But there's major supply still coming online in Sweden in terms of hotels. By 2022, we have 4 new hotels by Scandic, and that is 1,200 rooms. And the Norwegian developer and one of the largest private hotel owners, who has Nordic Choice Hotel, Petter Stordalen, is adding 4,000 additional rooms. According to Johanna Danielsson, she believes some hotels might be converted for other purposes, because now there is a sentiment in the hotel business that we don't expect to have a return to business. I mean, this is all everybody's hoping, and that things will get better, but it will take a few years before their performance is there, and that it is justified to run as a hotel, because it's still the largest expense are obviously salary expenses and rents, of course, because of the structure of the deals hotels having. Copenhagen has also the challenges now. Copenhagen is there is Villa Copenhagen, which is one of my favorites, which I never visit. I only visited virtually when I did a virtual tour from my YouTube channel. If you're interested to see it, just go to my YouTube channel, Sam Erik Ruttman, and that's where the general manager is taking me on a tour of the hotel. And Villa Copenhagen used to be the old central post office opposite the Copenhagen Tivoli. And he had mentioned earlier that they are relying on business from Norway and Sweden. And of course, because of the borders are closed, and so they're relying on domestic travel. And domestic travel is really the key for any of the Nordic countries, and particularly where many of the people have been used to traveling to southern, taking the long haul trips to warmer countries. Now, when everybody's here, they like to explore their own country and their own city, and particularly, which leads me now to what's happening in Lapland. Lapland is part of had a huge success until the pandemic hit with international tourism. It is a place where, yes, really, that's where Santa Claus is from, and so there were chartered flights from UK coming before Christmas. There's been a huge influx of Chinese travelers wanting to experience the Northern Lights. Of course, that is gone now, so there is domestic travel. Now, what do Finns who have been reluctant to go to Lapland during the high season is because of the prices of the services, and hotels were very high from the Finnish point of view. But now things have changed, and also the hotel owners and have taken a very hard look on what they can offer at what prices. But the winner really is not the hotels at the moment in Lapland. These are the ski chalets, which there are plenty of ski chalets by the major ski centers. And the rentals of the ski chalets, that's where the business is now at the moment. Part of the reason, of course, is that people want to feel safe where they're staying. And then also takeout food from restaurants, particularly the ski resorts. I was watching one live stream from one of the pizza places in a place called Levi. I mean, they were, I think they produced about 800 pizzas a day, which was unheard of during normal times. So people just, a lot of takeaway food going on there. But I think the big thing now, of course, is the short lead time for bookings. And now the ski holidays for the school students, high school, and the schools are in the third week of February. That's where also it's going to be a lot of families going up for skiing. Now, how to get to Lapland? There, of course, there are three ways. Either you drive or you take a train. And the train, the reports from the Central Railway companies, State Railway Company has reported that they are full capacity, and usually it's a night train going up to Lapland. So though they are starting to be fully booked already. Of course, there are buses going up there, and then the flights. But the flights are not as booked as they were before. But I think they see some pickup. The future for the Lapland, of course, will be dependent on how the Easter holidays, because the forward bookings are quite good. Of course, the dramatic part, of course, is all the services that are provided up there. There's been the motor snowmobile safaris, the husky rides, and all those services and the programs that has been developed, particular for the international tourists, has dried up quite a bit. But also it has meant that the employment has dropped from the period of pre-COVID. It was over 10,000. Now it's less than half of jobs available at the moment. So that's going to be the interesting to see what else can be done in order to stimulate. But I think there are certain things to be considered, that people want to feel safe, so they are willing to take a train. They have a private car or private compartment. They end up at in Lapland, and they will have a ski chalet. And some of the ski chalet owners, because it's actually very popular in Finland to have a summer cottage. Some people have the summer cottages in the archipelago or by the Lake District, or some of them have them up there in Lapland. That the owners of these ski chalets are booking them for themselves rather than letting them out. And that has become the place where they're spending the holiday and also an extended period to work. So that particularly those chalets and the cottages that are equipped that they can handle the winter period with heating and so on. So that is something that we didn't see before. So those are the things that have changed. But that's really the update for you. But I want to also give a small announcement, because I'm expecting to able to do something for the following shows here. So I'm going to just see. We're going to do I will confirm, but I'm expecting to do a very interesting, the future of a micro-hospitality. How will space of mind get you there? I'm going to have a talk with Willem van Bolderen, who is the partner of Studiepost Architects. And when it comes to size today, modern hospitality faces extreme trends. Either you go overextending size with large facilities, or you're downsizing to a simplest form with practical mobile concepts. So we're going to focus on the latter, which are the shaping the future of hospitality. Thus, it's called the micro hospitality. So please subscribe to my channel, and you're able to have a first notice to when I will be going live with this. So, but I have my live travel and hospitality update every Monday, same time, same stations. So I hope to see you next time when I'm live again. So thank you very much for all of your viewers. Thank you very much for joining. Everyone who is on Facebook, YouTube, and of course here on Periscope and on Happs TV. Really glad to have connected with you. And so we'll see you in 1 week from now. Take care.